Hey folks, Crazy Clown here again, and this time we're going to look at game number 7 in our 20 from 1988 series, and this is probably the first worldwide Smash puzzle video game. This version was created by Atari Games, and the original was created by a Russian named Alexey Pazhitnov, and this is, of course, the almighty Tetris. This had more popularity in its NES and Game Boy ports, but I still saw this arcade version pretty much everywhere. This was at movie theater lobbies, convenience stores, grocery stores, arcades, what have you. And the gist of the game is pretty simplistic. You have a joystick and you can move falling pieces that descend down a well to the left or right, or you can pull down on the joystick to make them fall faster. And that's only advisable if you know what you're doing. And there is a button to rotate the pieces, and there are 7 different pieces. And the pieces just rotate one direction at a time with each press of the button. And the game helpfully tells you how to play. And the goal is to try to set up blocks of the pieces to make one full line horizontally. And if that happens, then that whole line is eliminated. And you can actually set it up so that multiple lines are eliminated at once. And that will get you extra points, and that will make extra floors disappear. And we see TET in the blocks for Tetris during the attract mode. And if you get your name on the high score list, or I think number 1 on the high score list, then your 3 initials will appear in that formation, which is kind of cool. But there are 7 different pieces. There is a light blue kind of an S. I'm trying to give names to these pieces so I can remember them. There is a blue square, and that piece does not rotate at all. And then there is a reverse L, which is yellow. There is there was a light blue S, and there was an orange Z. And then there is a green T. There is a red line, which is either, it only flips horizontal or vertical. And then there is a purple L. But knowing which direction the pieces rotate when you press the button is super important to any success in this game. And note that at the top left it says next. That shows which piece is going to be next once the piece that you're moving lands. And you can, like I said, move the pieces left and right with the joystick. And you can fit them under small areas sometimes, depending on which piece you've got. And I am trying to build up so that I can get multiple lines eliminated at once to get more points. And if you get 4 lines eliminated at once, that is called a Tetris, and you get the maximum 900 points. Since the high score is 10,000, it is a good idea early on to try to get multiple Tetrises. Yeah, I didn't really set that up just right. But, there, I got a Tetris. And for each round, there is a certain amount of lines that you need to complete. And like I said, lines are horizontal, and they consist of blocks all the way across. And getting that to happen will eliminate that line. or however many lines you filled with that one block that you put in place, or puzzle piece, or whatever. But yeah, I'm trying to set up for another Tetris. Don't always rely on a piece appearing that you need. You'll think that maybe that red one is coming, and it's just not coming, and you're like, well, damn it. Right now the game is not moving very fast, but later on the speed will really pick up. And don't be afraid to sometimes if the pieces just aren't there, you might have to leave a block open in a line. Sometimes just happens that way. But you will need to learn which direction the pieces rotate when you press the button. They will always rotate the same way, and they will always appear the same way when they first come down the well. It's just something you gotta get used to. I've never been great at this game by any means, but I've improved my skills a little bit at least. After clearing 3 rounds, then you will get a cute little animation of a Russian guy dancing. But yeah, you will get extra points for multiple lines being cleared at once, and you will get bonus points for levels that floors above the structure that you've built. If you let your pieces reach the top, then your game is over. And we have different musical tracks in this game. This is a really well done version of Tetris. I have not played nor seen the original Tetris, which was created in 1984 for Russian computers. But yeah, this did not really get popularity until I think the arcade release was first, and then the NES version. But the NES version was really where Tetris popularity exploded. And then the Game Boy release was very popular too. The Game Boy release had like a link cable that you could put in, and 2 players could play at the same time. 2 players could play at the same time in this version too. Note that the well on the right just shows statistics, as in which pieces have appeared thus far, and how many of them. But if you play 2 players simultaneous play, then player 2 gets to play that well. Later on puzzle games, one player was rewarded by punishing the second player whenever they got puzzle pieces to connect, or filled in lines or whatever. And the second player would have their structure add pieces when the other player would eliminate lines. Not so in this game. But note that at the bottom left there is a 1 that shows how many lines I have left before I can eliminate this round. And even if you have just like, and there's the Russian guy dancing. Very, very cool. Now this time around we have an added challenge. We have 2 walls. And the pieces are starting to fall faster. Some of these musical tracks, I think, were in the Game Boy or NES ports, but they also included Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies by Tchaikovsky. Very, very well done port of the original. Yeah, I've never seen the original by Alexey Pazhitnov, but I'm sure it's not nearly as polished as this. I used to have the I didn't play. I don't know that I played the NES version. I think I did a little bit, but it was the Game Boy version that I played plenty of Tetris on. Like I said, that had like a cable or something where you could link two players and have them play at the same time, but I didn't have a whole lot of friends, so I think they moved on to something else by that point, but I just played by myself on that game. And now we have blocks that are already in place. There's just going to be little added challenges like that. And later on, blocks will appear here and there as you play. But you have to learn which way that the pieces rotate. Just kind of train your memory on which way they turn when you press the rotate button each time. Like I said, there's 7 pieces. There's a light blue kind of an S. There's a dark blue square, and that does not rotate. Then there is a yellow backwards L. There is an orange Z. And then there is a green T. There is a red line which rotates only horizontally or vertically. It's either a horizontal line or a vertical line. And then there is a purple L. And they will always appear in the same facing the same direction, and they will always rotate the same direction when you keep pressing the button. Yeah, it's good to build Tetrises, which is four lines at once. It's good to build those early on. Because they are 900 points apiece, and the high score is 10,000 points. If you get the high score, your initials appear in the well during the attract mode, which is kind of cool. Kind of makes me think of Crystal Castles, when your name would appear, your initials would appear in the structure in the first stage. It's kind of a cool little Atari Games touch. If there were other arcade versions of Tetris, I don't know that they were released in the US. But this game led to so many knockoffs and maybe follow-ups and whatnot, but this was heavily copied. It's such a excuse me, such an influential game. I have a 4-day weekend starting today, so I can work a little extra on some more games in this series for you. There's another there's another Russian guy dancing. Probably the same guy, but doing a different dance, maybe slightly different. We have multiple music tracks in this game, and the NES port or ports and the Game Boy port have some different tracks. And now we can see that there are blocks that appear just here and there, and you have to work around them or try to link them up with a line to eliminate them. I didn't quite slide that backwards L in place in time. Yeah, you can hold down the joystick left or right if it's not quite ready to slide under a piece. But when the gap presents itself, if you're still excuse me, if you're still holding the joystick in that direction, it will eventually slide under. Yeah, I'm starting to not do so great here. There's another block that appeared, but I still cleared the amount of lines that I needed to, and the game will tell you how many lines you need to clear. Oh boy, they're moving fast now. I'm not holding down on the joystick to make them fall faster. They are falling very fast now. I was never great at this game by any means. I got a little bit better once I learned which direction the pieces would fall, or which direction the pieces would move when I used the rotate button. Ah, crap. Yikes. Yeah, it seems like you're waiting for that red piece, which is the best piece, to fall, and you keep making an open area for it, and sometimes it just doesn't seem to want to appear, and you screw yourself over. Oh well. Game over. But yeah, you can play two-player simultaneous play in this, and the second player would play that well on the right instead of showing you the stats for your game, or all the pieces that fell. And, now I put in my initials. Note that the R in all the text in this game, including the initial selection screen, is backwards. That is part of Russian spelling. And the R by itself backwards means I or me in Russian. But that is Tetris. And this was a very good version of Tetris. And yep, there's my initials in the attract mode right there. Kind of cool. We will only look at a brief bit of two-player action, because it's basically what you think it is. Two players just trying to eliminate lines, and there's no punishment for one player when the other player is successfully eliminating lines, like there were in a lot of later puzzle games. But there were 3 difficulty selections at the difficulty select screen, and there are the handicaps that we already saw on the later stages. But you do get bonus points for eliminating rounds. And here is a little bit of two-player action here. But if one player loses, or if one player clears a round, then the other then they have to wait for the other player. And if one player loses, then they have to put in a credit to continue. And if you continue, you have to start over at the stage you left off on, I believe. Well, there is the box for the NES version. The NES version allows you to choose from 2 different types of difficulties, and it has NES characters in the endings. And there's the Tengen version, which is a little bit different. This is the unofficially licensed port for the NES. And there's the Game Boy box. And the Game Boy has, like I said, a cable to allow an extra player to play simultaneously. Well, that was Tetris, game number 7 in our 20 from 1988 series, created by Atari Games, and the original was created by Alexey Pazhitnov. This is Crazy Clemmery, so thanks for watching, and I hope you join me soon for game number 6. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.